the dosing for psoriasis? Or for, let's do RA, rheumatoid arthritis.
That is every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. So do you have to go to a doctor every 2 weeks?
No.
So yeah, that's how you can tell. This is patient administered. That's why it looks like a pen. So it's handy, it's portable, easier for the patient to use, and again, to comply. Compliance is key. So next time we'll do it that way. Join using the, what do you call this? Your phone, and then I'll project the drug for you. My turn. This is the last drug, right? Diphenhydramine. Diphenhydramine, that pink pill. Miss L's favorite. Brand name is Benadryl. The generic is diphenhydramine. The therapeutic class is antihistamine. One of those antihistamine means for allergies. But remember, there are 2 receptors, H1 and H2. What's H1 for? Allergies. What's H2 for? Stomach acid, right? So if it's an H1 blocker, it blocks whatever causes the allergic reaction. You get it? H1, I'm gonna type it, and this is how I do it. H1, I put A, and then the LL, I make it number 1. So I remember that H1 is for allergies, and H2 is for stomach acid. So when you say H1 blocker, it blocks whatever causes the allergies. When you say H2 blockers, it blocks the secretion of acid from the stomach. You get it? So this one is H1 blocker, antihistamine, histamine 1. It affects the histamine 1 receptor. So H1 diphenhydramine, the generic is diphenhydramine, the brand is Benadryl. It's an antihistamine with a high drowsy effect. That's why it's not only used as an antihistamine. Doctors prescribe it as a sleep aid so that they don't have to prescribe narcotics right away. All of our antihistamine has drowsy effect. Some just have higher drowsy effect than the others, and Benadryl has a high drowsy effect. It's also used for sleep. That's why all those brand names, ZQuil has a diphenhydramine. What else? Sleep aid. Anything sleep, if you check the generic, it's diphenhydramine, okay? Because it's an antihistamine or for allergies that has high drowsy effect. It's used for allergies mainly, primarily. It's over the counter. It's also safe for pregnant women to take. It's one of the safe drugs for pregnant women to take. So Benadryl is one of them. It's that pink pill. I told you, if you run out of liquid Benadryl or diphenhydramine, you need to give a dose to your fur baby or to your child. Use Medscape for the proper dosing. Each tablet is 25 milligrams. Usually you only need what? 12.5, okay, for children. So how to make Benadryl at home? If you only have the tablets and you don't have anything else, what do?
You can crush it and put it in some juice or something like that.
So if you need a 12.5 milligram, that tablet is 25. You cut it in half, then you have a 12.5. Crush it, we call it triturate, but you can use your mortar and pestle at home, and you can add apple juice or water, and you can dose it easily to your pets or to children, okay? So these are things you're gonna learn during pharmacy lab skills. Compounding, okay? So those are things that we're gonna cover in detail as well. But for now, we're just gonna cover the drugs part to it. Any questions? No questions on the drugs? Okay, real quick. OD. What did I tell you about the letter D? D stands for dexter, which means the right side. OD, this may not be your right. I don't know how you're looking at me, mirror image. This is my right side, OD. Oculodexter. Dexter is always the right side. Oculo is the eye, so right eye. Right eye. Okay, right eye. Oculodexter, right eye. Okay. Oculo, another term. If you can remember it easier if it's opto, right? You go to an optometrist, or optha. Okay, right eye. But remember that the letter D tied to an organ or tied to a part of your body, it pertains to dexter, which is the right side. Okay. OS, left eye. S stands for sinister, which means the left side. Okay, the left side. So oculosinister. And then again, the O, you can think of it as opto, opta, which is a more common term. So oculodexter is right eye, oculosinister is left eye. This is how I remember both eyes. Draw a letter U on your face, then it becomes OU. Okay, both eyes. Okay, both eyes. So anything with a U, both. So let's do ears. AD, right ear, aurum dexter. Another way to remember letter A. Audio, right? Audio pertains to hearing. Okay, audio, but it's really aurum dexter, right ear. AS, sinister again. S is sinister, left side. Aurum sinister, okay? AS, aurum sinister, or audio, more layman's term. So if you do draw a letter U on your face, it becomes AU, both ears. You get it? Okay, so we have your ODOS, OU, ADAS, AU. Okay, though the AD, the AS, and the AU is not there, you're not going to be tested on that. I'd like to mention those because the eyes and the ears. Okay, another thing I'd like to mention. Okay, eye drops can go in the ears. You remember this, Stormy and Jason? Eye drops, because they're sterile, eye drops are sterile, can go in the ears, but eardrops can never go in the eyes. Remember that. Eye drops can go in the ears, but eardrops can never go in the eyes. Why? Eye drops are always sterile. Okay. Remember, it's connected to your brain. We discussed the brain. So you want everything sterile. Everything that goes in the eye is sterile. Eardrops don't have to be prepared sterile, so they don't go in the eyes. It is very common for you to see eye drops prescribed for the ears. You understand? And that's okay. Okay? Because eye drops can go in the ears, but eardrops should never go in the eyes. Is that clear? Okay, next one, CNS. CNS stands for Central Nervous System. What are the two parts of the central nervous system? Do you remember, Stormy? Because we're talking about the nervous system this last 2 weeks, nervous system. But then we have the central nervous system, which we talked about, the brain. Okay? The brain is one of them. So what's the other one? The central nervous system. You remember the brain and the spinal cord. Okay? The central nervous system covers the brain and the spinal cord. Okay? Next one, capital H. It can be lowercase h. It stands for hour. Okay? And then we have NR. If you're in a chemistry or in a lab, it can be no reaction. Okay? But for pharmacy, it's NR, no refill. Okay? No refill. Okay? Q4H. Q is ke, which means every, 4, and then H is hour. Okay? So every 4 hours. It can be lowercase. Lowercase q, number 4, lowercase h. It doesn't have to be all caps. Okay? Every 4 hours. QOD, que otro día, every other day. Every other day. QD, every day. Que día, every day. QWK, every week. Every week. When it comes TIW, what's TIW? 3 times a week, okay? And remember, avoid the words once, twice, thrice. So if you have to say every day, make it every day, 1 a day, or 1 daily, okay? Because once, O-N-C, is the same spelling as once, which means 11. So we try to avoid those words as well, okay? Last one, ADHD versus ADD. What does ADHD stand for, Jason?
Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Correct, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Without the H, Christine, it becomes ADD. What does it stand for?
Attention deficit disorder.
Correct, okay?